Welcome to episode number 28 of of Comic Chaos Live. So I'm gonna quickly on the desktop audio, disable that so you guys don't get deaf by the bell. I hope you all had a great start in the week. Today is Tuesday. Personally, I overslept a little and I'm still super sleepy. I hope you're having a more motivated or more energized start into the day. As always, in Comic Chaos Live, we take a look at the YouTube comments that I received to hopefully answer the questions that you may or may not, or that you might have actually. Doesn't make sense to answer questions that you might not have in the first place. There are not that many comments. I can already take that away. So if you have any questions, you can also write them in the chat. So I'll answer them after we looked at the comments. And besides that, the last thing is always the usual disclaimer. Everything that I'm sharing in this video/live stream, so depending if you watch it now live or later as a video, is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. With that, we jump straight into Agora Pulse, the tool we are using to manage our social media platform. You can find a link to it in the description down below, by the way. Gonna get rid of that. And here we go. Now here we have something in, I don't know, probably, doesn't look like Tagalog. So honestly, no idea what language it is, but Agora Pulse translates it. It's a loss not to join Pi Network project, ecosystem, utilities, and market have been prepared in the process. Hopefully we'll be more mentally prepared for the market later when the mainnet opens. Other crypto, Shiba Inu, Bitcoin, etc. are good, but the process was too forced by the market. It seemed out of control. Crazy crypto, just the spirit. Pi, big project that makes people who experience in their fields, makes people who are experienced in their fields, only people with big hearts like us who appreciate their work. If not, we're all worthless. Be grateful. More than 50 million have appreciated the Pi project by becoming pioneers. The more people who appreciate it, the more likely it is the price will be high, and that's for sure. It's not easy to make people appreciate something. Pi has been proven capable of being morally respected by being followed by tens of millions of people. It's hard to say that this project was not successful because the market has been prepared differently from other crypto. Everything in this world is valuable because of agreement. The more people agree, the more value it is. Healthy greetings all by Jamal Wong Kito Gallo. Hi Jamal. That's on the video, the latest KYC video. Sia Bull, hi Tony. Sorry, just cannot. Good morning to you, or good afternoon, or I guess it's morning for you as well, that's a long comment that says a lot, and parts of it is true, parts of it I disagree with, because so I mean, if you watch some of my videos, you know that I'm a strong proponent of saying, okay, market capitalization, supply, and everything is secondary. What really defines the value is what people agree on. And that's simply that's the truth. If we look at supply and demand, of course, matter and so on, but they also affect what people agree on. If we look at, let's go to CoinMarketCap and look at one of the projects I'm heavily invested in, and you can see it's trading now at half a cent. And if we look at the 1 year record, it's been a very sad journey watching from what's that? Oh, that's 12 cents a year ago. Anyway, not that sad anymore, but just going down. If we then, on the other hand, CoinMarketCap, look at what was it, Anks or Ant? Is it listed, or was it not on CoinMarketCap, but on CNX? That was it, CoinX, which baffles me how that coin is listed anywhere. Okay, 1 year is too much, but you can see that it's I don't know a single use case for CoinX. There's no partnerships or anything in place I'm aware of, and so on. Yet it has a value, I mean, less, but still 60% of what Hi is valued. And Hi has partnerships with MasterCard, their own debit, credit card, IBANs, and so on. I mean, I covered, I think, in yesterday's episode, why Hi's value is declining and what the team is going to announce in some variation or another really soon to change that and turn it around. But we can see that the value, I mean, even if we look at the Alpha Network exchange, obviously the value that's shown there is relatively ridiculous because people hardly can sell. We can see the buy orders increasing by the thousands, while the sell orders increasing by the thousands, while the buy orders only increase very slowly. Yet still the algorithm for the exchange gives it a ridiculous value. Yeah, so we can see here again it was above $1 in theoretical value, but it doesn't help if people cannot sell, whatnot, blah blah blah. Yeah, and obviously everybody wants to have a high value because then they are rich. Yeah, in quotes. Yeah, in theory at least. Yeah, but it doesn't help if you cannot sell. So yeah. So my point being is like, of course, the value is determined by what most people believe. It's really an important thing. I'm gonna switch here because it's gonna be like a little bit longer as usual. Yeah, but more people doesn't always mean higher value. Yeah, because it also means more coins that are circulating. And no matter how much you like a project, there is always people that just want to cash out, even if they only get $2 for whatever amount of coins they have total. Yeah, there's always some people that do not see the long-term potential that, hey, if they don't sell it and if they wait 10 years or so, then or 5 years, then that might actually set them up for life. I mean, I'm not saying that it will, I'm saying just the principle. Yeah. And it's like human psychology that there are just so many dicks out there. It's like, theoretically, if we would commit market manipulation and everyone would say, hey, we agree, we are not going to sell or spend a single Pi coin for less than, I don't know, $10,000 per Pi. Yeah. Which would mean if somebody wanted to buy it, they would have to offer 10,000 because nobody would be selling. Yeah, that would be like the crazy case. So if there's a great use case and somebody would want to have one Pi, but everybody agrees, yeah, we're not gonna sell below $10,000 per Pi, any random number, doesn't matter which price. Yeah, it could even be, could be $1, could be $1 million, doesn't matter. Yeah. Then whoever wants to buy it would have to say, okay, I want one Pi coin and I'm willing to pay $10,000 for it. Yeah. However, that's where the human, I don't know, yeah, the human idiocy comes in, because there's guaranteed someone that says, haha, everyone else is waiting for 10,000. I'm going to list mine for 9,999 so that I am sure that I sell mine first and I anyway only make $1 less. Yeah. And then there comes the next douchebag that would say, hey, oh, there is a sell order for 9,999. I will sell mine for 9,998, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually you see somebody that says, I don't care, I just want to get rid of this shit, and I'm going to sell it for 2 cents. Yeah, and that's pretty much how this works, and how it works with every little thing. Like there are just so many, I don't know, if we look at helium or so. Helium had a great ride. People accumulated, reached an all-time high of, what was it, close to $50. And $50 was apparently the value where a lot of people said, oh, now I'm going to cash out my profits. Yeah, I mean, good for them. They took the profits. Yeah. And since then, the journey has been going down to $1 because the price started dropping. People started panicking. And, oh, I'm also going to take my profit at $40, $35, $30 before it falls further and so on. And then you have that vicious cycle of the price going down, which leads to people, when they get fresh rewards, oh, I better sell them instantly because next week they will be worth less than what I would get today. And that creates more sell pressure and more sell pressure. And voila, you look at, I don't know, like, yeah, 99, 98% loss from the all-time high. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. And so, yeah, and other than that, I mean, the comment is not comparing Pi with Bitcoin and so, but we still have to point out the very, 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 very important difference. Yeah, you could mine Bitcoin in early days, but you needed it to run on your computer, which means it used resources like your higher electricity bill. Yes, originally you didn't need high-end hardware and whatnot, and you could mine on your CPU, but it still used then electricity, because unless you have a computer with an on-purpose energy-saving CPU, even back then you would have, like, I don't know, your 100 watts, 200 watts constant consumption, or almost in that direction. Yeah. And so you had to put in money in the form of your computer running and actually doing work to get Bitcoin that were worth nothing, and it was purely speculation. Yeah. And Pi, you don't have to put in anything. You install an app, you push a button. Yeah. So, which is also the reason, because you get it for, in quotes, no effort. Because in my opinion, whoever says, oh, I put so much effort into, I mean, whoever considers opening an app once per day and pushing a button as effort is just a lazy fuck. Yeah. And anyway, so people don't put effort in it, which means they also don't appreciate it as much. Yeah. And the real challenge, that's why the Pi core team made a great decision with the enclosed mainnet and saying the open mainnet will only happen when we have enough use cases, is that without use cases, the project has a decent chance still to fail. Because if there is no use case, so right now we know we can spend Pi. So there are some people, or actually a growing number of people and businesses, that even sell you new iPhones or MacBooks or so for Pi. Yeah, so you something you got for pushing a button. You can argue about the exchange rate, doesn't really matter. Yeah, but something that you got for pushing a button can get you a new iPhone 15, for example. Yeah, if you have, I don't know, 2,000 Pi or whatever the current price for the iPhone would be. Yeah. And that iPhone is then worth $1,200 or so. So for pushing a button for 5 seconds per day and completing KYZ, you would suddenly have $1,200 worth of value that you could sell and actually have then the fiat amount if you wanted to. Yeah. And yeah, like, so if we would have an open mainnet where I could just go to an exchange and say, hey, I want to sell my Pi coins, yeah, a lot of people would do it if there is no use case. And if there is no real use case, you don't have buyers, because only, let's say there is this image, let's say there is no Facebook, there is no Snapchat, there is no nothing like that, and somebody developed something like Facebook back in the day. But like originally, if you watch the social network, Facebook was meant to be only for students from whatever, the MIT, yeah. So you couldn't sign up if you didn't study there, or that was the idea, or something like that, yeah. Now imagine the original Facebook would be in a way that you could only sign up if you had a Pi wallet with Pi coins, yeah. And then just like Facebook, it gets popular in other areas, and they also, oh, we need some Pi coins. I need to buy one Pi coin because otherwise I'm not allowed to sign up, yeah. And then it spreads further and further and further, and suddenly, voila, you would have a use case where people also buy. So that people that already are early adopters and have more and maybe want to sell, that when they sell, they don't crash the price or the market. Yeah. So that's why use cases are so important. But we also see on projects like High Dollar and so on, okay, there the token technically doesn't have a big use case. The only use case there right now is to get your membership tier, which is supposed to change. Yeah. But yeah, we see even that projects with high potential because of great big partnerships and whatnot and a great product still suffer in terms of price if there is no use case. Yeah, and because then people will just have a reason to constantly sell what they get. Anyway, moving on. I hope I addressed the entire comment. Honestly, I'm not fully awake to decide that. Yeah. I want chain or country price. Yeah, I follow the video instructions. Literally, it explains exactly how you can figure out what you can buy and what and how. Yeah. By the way, in case you're wondering, so here would be the video. If you haven't seen it, it's how I'm buying Elden Ring for my Xbox. Although I had a few hiccups, not on the Pi buying side, but on the technical side. And that explains exactly the steps. Yeah. And then last but not least for today, we have another Pi comment. It will be successful if we unite the core teams and all pioneers around the world together to realize the global consensus value, which is such a garbage of 1 Pi is 314,000. Like that's just let's actually make this a short fun thingy here. Let's view. Does it start? Gonna switch here real quick, and then streaming, and then push that button and push that button. Well, is it? Oh no, it's pushing. Okay, so and then so I'm just gonna work to share my phone screen, and then I have to move this here. Can I move this? Oh, there's the bar. Yeah, okay. And then just 1 second, just have to make sure that the covering is working. I don't know why. Otherwise, window of the same executable. That might work better. Okay. And then I'm gonna press the magic. Where is it? Desktop. There, magic iPhone button. Oops. I have to disable studio mode. So let's press the magic iPhone button again. Does this work from here? Should work here. So okay. So Unfortunately, with the setup, I cannot share the screen at the same time, or can I? No, I can switch between this cam and the desk cam. That would actually be anyway. So the comment says consensus value of 314,159. Yeah. So now theoretically, as you can see, I have 3,095,4405 pi. So that would be yeah. If we switch to the desktop real quick, so if we take that consensus value here, so the 314,000 times my theoretical balance. It's not what I will get when everything gets migrated to the to the mainnet, yeah, but just the worst case thing. So that would be hundreds, then that would be 900,000, that would be 300 million, that would be 200 billion, and that would be then 1.2 trillion. Yeah. So, yeah, like so. Now let's say I only get 10%, so 314,159, and I only get 10%, so 395,440. Yeah, thousands, hundred thousands, millions, billions. Yeah. So even if only 10% of my referrals passed KYC in order to, or so that I get 10% of the overall balance that is shown, with the global consensus values of 314,000, I would instantly jump from not Forbes not knowing who I am to, I don't know, like let's see, Forbes top 10 wealth. Uh, oh, I would instantly jump on spot 4, real-time billionaires. Oh, cool. We're even tracking it in real time now. How important is that? Yeah. Yeah, so I would instantly jump on spot 4 and pass Larry Ellison. Yeah. So if that doesn't make it clear how unrealistic global consensus value of 314,000 is, if then one account alone on Pi Network would suddenly be among the richest people in the world without contributing in any way, like without like providing a product or a service. So like having a business that actually provides a product or a service, yeah, or getting a huge salary from a business that provides some value to the whole world, yeah. Not to mention, as mentioned before, if we were to agree all on this consensus value, well, then somebody would be the smartass, and I'm gonna sell mine for 314,158, and the next one 157, 56, blah blah blah. Yeah, somebody would say, "Fuck this! I only have one pie, but I need $10,000. I'm going to list it for $10,000." And the next person would say, "Well, I'm going to list mine for 9,999, and voila, eventually we are the real value." But everybody, please don't make the mistake to believe in a ridiculous. So you should believe in the project, yeah, but you should also apply common sense, because it just doesn't work like this. It will not work like this, yeah. If there's anybody out there who is willing to accept one pi for that price, yeah, so let's say an iPhone then for 0.00, I don't know what pi, yeah, that person is an idiot. Yeah, they're guaranteed to lose money. Yeah, so because then once pi can be traded, it will not rank for that price. It's simply impossible. If I'm wrong here, well then great. Yep, I become one of the top 10 richest people in the world, and with more than 10% KYZ, potentially even the richest person in the world. Yeah, like really wouldn't care about that. So, but that just shows you how ridiculous that price is, because that's not how things work. Yeah, that's like, especially because right now there is no monetary backing, so it's not like pi is some kind of stable coin where there's like some funding behind that says, okay, we have trillions of dollars that back pi. Pi is just like a imaginary currency like every other currency on this planet, so also like the US dollars, with the difference is that the US dollars are a currency that every single person in the world knows and accepts. Yeah. And pi isn't. So pi is growing, pi is making progress, and so on. The US dollar has use cases. It's used in international financing, and like if you buy oil or something like that, usually those things are denominated in dollars. So talking international markets. So it's, yeah, pi doesn't have that. Yeah. So I'm not saying that pi cannot achieve a decent value, but the assumption that a new cryptocurrency that has a way bigger again, supply is not everything and so on, but that a new cryptocurrency that has a way bigger supply and currently not many great use cases, because right now you can use pi asset to buy stuff, yeah, but you can use any cryptocurrency or fiat currency for that, yeah. So I bought Elden Ring and Hogwarts Legacy with pi, so one game for me, one for my wife, yeah. But I could have done that with Bitcoin. I could have done that with Litecoin. I could have done that with Euro, with US dollars, with whatever, Vietnamese dong. I could have done it with any currency. It doesn't make Pi unique or special. Yeah. So it's important that it doesn't mean that Pi will not be successful. I also agree that it's already successful considering the number of users that the team attracted. Yeah. Or not the team, but the community attracted, and there are more and more use cases and whatnot. Yeah. But just be realistic. Don't think that if you have 100 pi that you're gonna have like $3 million or $1 billion or something like that. Be realistic. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe yeah. Like I mean, it's up to you to decide how much your pi are worth to you. Yeah. But what it comes down to, how much are they worth to the rest of the world? Because if you say, hey, I value pi at $340,000, I will ask you, well, then buy one pi from me. Yeah. Then pay me 314 for one pi. Yeah. I mean, not now because right now it's not allowed, but later. Yeah. And yeah, so it really doesn't matter. It's like, yes, how much you believe it's worth, well, is relevant because it might help you with your decisions. If like somebody sells you an Xbox game at 25 cents per pi and you say, no, that's too expensive because it should be 50 cents. But if that other person doesn't agree, well, then you will not be able to pay with pi. You will just have to keep your pi and he will keep the game and you will then pay with fiat or so for the game or whatever it is you're buying. Yeah. And eventually, so supply and demand is going to work out. If somebody wants to sell goods for pi at 20 cents per pi, but nobody is buying and everybody tells them, no, it should be 50 cents. Well, eventually that person will either stop accepting pi altogether, or they will increase their exchange rate and say, okay, I'm accepting it now at 50 cents. Yeah. Just because you say then, so if 10 people say, yeah, we are happy to trade with 50 cents per pi, but one person says, no, it should be $1, well, it's still going to trade for 50 cents per pi. Whatever you want to do, if there's people that are willing to trade for the price, it will trade for the price. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. So overall, yeah, pi did a lot of great things, and and it already has a value, and it already has a value that's higher than other projects that actually, in quotes, yeah, it's hard to compare. I don't want to say accomplished more, but at least in terms of partnerships and marketing, did better. Yeah. If we look, pi right now, I said, is used in transactions for 20 to 25 cents. If we then again look at High Dollar, for example, that has a set like a crypto debit card, the first of its kind actually, and partnerships with MasterCard and European banking partnerships to offer IBAN accounts, so really real use cases, yeah, and it trades at half a cent, then we can already see that pi is successful, yeah. But just don't get lured into really nut jobs, in my opinion, at this point, because at this point, if you believe in a $300,000 valuation, something's just wrong with you. You're probably one of them. I mean, it's probably people that also play the lottery and then already start dreaming, oh, on Wednesday, if I win the lottery, or when I win the lottery, I will buy a Lamborghini or something like that. And then Wednesday comes and the lottery is, and they don't win, and then, oh, but next week I will win and then I will buy my Lamborghini. Don't be that person. Don't be like this, like, be slightly realistic. Yes, you can hope and say, oh, what if it goes up to that? Yeah, I mean, it will never go to that value, but what if it goes up higher? Yeah, but be realistic. And don't plan and expect, oh, I'm rich now because I have 100 pi, but be more realistic and say, okay, pi has a lot of potential. Maybe it changes my life, but even if not, even if it just turns out that my whole pile of pi is worth $100, well, it's $100 that I didn't have before I found that app. Yeah. So anyway, with that, I think I'm gonna, I went hugely overtime. We almost no comments, but I managed to went hugely overtime. There's gonna be, what's gonna be today? Today there's gonna be another episode of Daily Market Mastery on my other YouTube channel. If you're curious or want to learn more about trading and investing and how I manage our portfolio. And then other than that, tomorrow there's not gonna be a Comment Chaos Live because we got a dentist appointment. So yeah, the next Comment Chaos Live is then in 2 days. in the morning as usual, 7:30 GMT. And I'm not sure if there will be streams on Twitch since I'm catching up on some work. And yesterday we managed to stream 1.5 hours in the evening. But yeah, so no guarantees. But if you're curious and just want to have some small talk while I'm gaming, make sure to just search for Christian Rauchenwald on Twitch. And you'll find my profile there and just follow it and enable notifications, and then you get notified when I'm live, and then we can chat there. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day, and then see you all in another stream, in a video, or maybe on Thursday in another episode of Common Chaos Live. So till then.